Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, JADON'S, and I would like to welcome you back to another episode of the No Laces Podcast. I would also like to remind you that we are now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, comment, and like. And if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please remember to leave a download, rate, and review. And now I'm going to throw it up with No Laces to my other host.
And so I'm the other host, RANDALL'S. Right now I'm just introducing our special guest for today, point guard Javonte Landy, right here from the 912, to give us some of his interesting takes. There'll probably be some outlandish stuff, some stuff you'll agree with. So hope you enjoy the show.
So let's get right into it. There have been many moves in the free agency market, having players re-sign with teams or go to new teams. Mm-hmm. So after the first wave of free agency, who are the best teams in the Western Conference?
In the Western Conference? Denver, of course. They just won a championship. I feel like Lakers made some good moves this offseason. They didn't make significant moves, but they made moves that's going to make them contenders. Like Golden State, you can't never count them out, really. I'm always going to count Golden State in. Some reason, I feel like Sacramento, man. I don't know. I feel like Sacramento going to be that team this year, bro.
I'm not convinced.
I am, man.
I'm not convinced.
Sacramento, man, I ain't going to lie, boy. They almost took Golden State off, bro. They almost took Golden State off,
Who does
bro.
Golden State really not nobody, though?
I think we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Okay.
But I'm going to just go with my best team in the West after these moves is the Phoenix Suns in my mind, okay? They added Drew Eubanks, Keita Bates-Diop, Bradley Beal, Eric Gordon. To me, they acquired an elite scorer and really bolstered that bench, which I thought was pretty weak last year. And I think KD and Devin Booker having a full year, another year under their belt working together, I think that could be a pretty good team.
See, I got three teams for you that kind of got better in the offseason already, and obviously the Lakers being one. They lost Dennis Schroeder but got Gabe Vincent back. You get a scorer who can probably come to his potential in Cam Reddish. Jackson Hayes, a 7-footer who can help you out big time and stretch the floor. You get Vanderbilt back and Hachimura. I feel like they have the best roster in the NBA right now. I also like the Memphis Grizzlies. I like what they did. They added Derrick Rose, who's a former MVP, a veteran. He knows the game. Then you got Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart knows the game very well. You got Brandon Clark coming back and Steven Adams coming back. Desmond Bane just got paid. And John Morant going to want to prove a lot of people wrong when he come back from suspension. Thirdly, I have the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
I still think they have what it takes. Chris Paul knows how to bring the best out of his role players and players that's not stars yet. So him running the second unit
with Jonathan
Kuminga and players of that nature, I really think the Warriors are going to be good. They'll probably be a little better than last year. And another team I'm going to throw out there who didn't make really no moves. They signed one player back on their team. But if they can just get healthy, people forget they were the number one seed for a long period of time in the Western Conference, and that's the New Orleans Pelicans. I believe if Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson can stay healthy, they have what it takes to be real deal contenders and compete for a title. I don't have the Nuggets on here because you lose Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, and a lot of people don't know, but Bruce Brown ran that second unit. So with him gone and Jeff Green gone,
but I don't see, man. The head of the snake still there, bro.
Yeah,
you got
he's still
Jokic,
there, but
Murray. You got Porter, Aaron Gordon still there.
Where's your bench now? Two of your bench is gone.
That's only two players, though. Them two players can be easily replaced, though, at the same time.
By who?
They can easily sign free agents.
What free agents are left that they can sign, though, that will make an impact on the team?
I think they pretty much just going to stand pat because they think what they got is good enough. The head coach has a big ego, so I'm pretty sure the general manager do too. So we'll see what happens with that. Now to transition to the best team or y'all top teams in the East after these free agent first wave of free agency.
I really don't think the East made splashes in free agency. The East is really the same. So
it's like the same every year.
I would have had Boston first, but them losing Marcus Smart is hurt very big. And you getting him for Porzingis,
And then you're
It's
trying
not-
to see if Brogdon gonna stay healthy.
Exactly. It's not the same. And you got Robert Williams. You got to make sure he stay healthy. It's not the same. So Boston moves to 2. Milwaukee goes back up to 1. Unfortunately, they signed everybody back. They added Malik Beasley. They added a couple players. So Milwaukee is 1. Philadelphia would be 3. I feel like even if they have James
I don't
Harden,
know, man.
who would you put above Philadelphia?
I feel like
so once James Harden leave, like,
if James Harden leave, that
They're-
means they got somebody of his caliber.
I mean, who you
if they
gonna-
don't sign James Harden back again, I don't think they're a better team than the Knicks. I don't.
Because I'm saying you're not gonna get a superstar.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
one trade that I'll propose a little bit later in the show that could possibly happen. But other than that, 9 times out of 10, he's already.
It's a lose-lose kind
Yeah,
of thing because
and then
he's
he-
already at the end of his ropes.
And he demanded a trade,
Mhm.
so they
Opted
don't really
into a
have
contract.
The other teams have the leverage because they know he's not playing for them that this season.
You don't know that he's not playing for them. He just would like to be traded. If Daryl Morey cannot find a team to fulfill his aspirations, then he's going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers.
But you gotta think about it at the same time. No James Harden history. What he did with Houston that one year when he didn't want to play with that team again.
What did he do?
You don't remember he sat out when you don't remember what he did before that offseason?
But that's Houston, though. Houston wasn't contending
But it's the
for
same.
NBA
It's the same
title.
player
The
that we're
same
talking.
general manager,
Mhm.
same general manager, same. So they don't. They don't
That's what I'm saying.
Before.
They done been through it
So-
before.
But they don't
bruh.
have a bad working relationship. That's why I just feel like with Harden on the team, they're top 3 contender, and with him off the team, they're going to trade for a piece or pieces that can accommodate for the loss. That's just how I feel.
I just don't feel like his trade value is not that high anymore.
20 points, 10 assists per game.
The trade value ain't that high. Who would make a trade for James Harden?
Yeah, I would.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
We got.
somebody will, but
Somebody will, yeah.
I got some trade propositions
Okay.
later on in the
Later,
show, and
later.
James Harden is involved in one of them, so that is for sure. So, give your best teams in the East as of right now.
East. Okay, Milwaukee. Okay. Celtics, of course. I feel like the Knicks number 3 right now. Right now, as currently constructed right now. No James Harden. If we're saying James Harden is not on the Sixers, currently right now he's up in the air. Currently I'm saying the Knicks is above the Philadelphia 76ers right now.
Okay.
I'm just not sold on the Knicks.
I want to apologize to the viewers at home because they both missed who will be. You can mark this down. Who gonna be the best team in the East? That's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think not only it was good that they had that experience last year in the playoffs because you gotta go through your obstacles before you make that next jump. And I think they're ready to make that next jump with the additions of Max Strus, George Niang, re-signing Karis LeVert. I think they added some much-needed shooting and just a team that's ready to take that next jump. Bearing through some trials in this time for the Cavs to get to another championship. Like LeBron said, Cleveland, this is for you.
So, would you put the Cleveland Cavaliers in your early NBA Finals prediction?
My prediction is Cavs versus Lakers. That's really a win-win situation for me. But I think Cavs and Lakers, maybe the Suns, but I really think the East is a lot of overrated players and overrated teams.
Just a crapshoot.
Yeah, but I feel that if the Cavs can put it all together, they have the most talent from a certain standpoint, in my opinion.
From top to bottom.
From top to bottom. They should be able to compete and win, but you got to put the pieces together.
Who would you say? Because the Cavaliers are not
They're
going
not.
to the NBA Finals.
It's
I'm sorry.
8:56 p.m., July 4th, Independence Day. Remember this. Cavs going to the finals? They say no.
I think Milwaukee gonna. I feel like Giannis, he gonna have that fire behind him next year because of what happened. And he got bounced in the first round. Giannis coming out the East. In the West,
1 second on that. Remember, Giannis said it's not. Was this season a failure or not for the Bucks?
it wasn't a failure
And why would you say that?
because I feel like at the same time, it really brought everybody back in and made them realize, okay, we can't just be relaxed on certain teams. It kind of humbled them a little bit. I feel like in a certain way.
If they went into the season and said, we're gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs. You think to them that's
not to their standard.
Yeah.
Once you win a ring, that's no longer to the standard.
to me, and I guess in some instances it may not be a failure. I don't know. Usually after people lose, I feel like sometimes these athletes, I mean, it's with great power comes great responsibility, and your objective is to win. I can see if maybe he lost in the conference finals or semifinals, but you got put out in the first round, which a former MVP, some people might even still regard as the best player in the league.
If he was hurt, I feel like they would have won that series. But at the same time, if you look at it from this perspective, I think Milwaukee, I feel like this is where I feel like they gotta kind of like this probably made them realize that they gotta lock back into what they were doing. If you look at the Milwaukee team that beat the Suns that year, that Milwaukee team was on a way another level than what this team that was this past year. I feel like they're not as hungry as they was then. Back then when they won that finals that year, it looked like everybody was just on a whole nother level. Like Chris Middleton, even though he wasn't as healthy this season, he was just on a whole nother level that year. Drew Holiday was on a whole nother level that year. That team was just like some
clicking.
dogs,
They
man.
was just clicking. And my thing is, the first year after you win, you lose. What's the coach for the Lakers' name? I can't think of it right now.
For which one?
The Los Angeles
The
Lakers.
head coach.
The head coach right
Yeah.
now?
I don't know why it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yes.
But you lose him. Then you lose your
Darvin
head coach,
Ham.
Darvin
Darvin
Ham.
Ham.
You
There you
lose
go.
Darvin Ham, and then you lose Mike Budenholzer the following year. So you lose your assistant head coach and your head coach. The coaching plays a huge role in a team. Think David Blatt versus Tyronn Lue.
Mm-hmm.
1 second before we get into that.
Well, let's get into our contenders versus pretenders. I got 5 contenders in the NBA, and I got 5 pretenders teams that think they're on the brink of competing for a championship, but you're really so close, but yet so far. I'm gonna let you go first.
Pretenders. I'm gonna go with the Clippers. Clippers, I just can't get into it. Who else can I say? The Hawks, they're very far off. They're very far. Who else? I would say, you say the Cavs winning it, man. I just don't see it. I
You
just
can't put them
don't.
in the pretender list though.
Why can't you?
That's what I'm saying.
Why can't you?
Because if you're saying a pretender, what are you saying?
They just got bounced to the Knicks in the first
Pretenders.
round.
So they're not a top 4 seed, you don't think?
I don't.
You can. That's
They're-
the problem with being a pretender.
Mhm.
A pretender isn't a team that's like the Orlando Magic, a team you know that's not about to win a championship. This is a team
that
who,
always bees at the top,
yes,
but always falls short
this
in
is
the
a team
playoffs.
that you think has what it takes. On paper, they could get to this point, but we know it's not going to happen. They were the 4th seed. They was really a top 3 seed all season. Play the New York Knicks, and everything just falls apart.
I just feel like also Philadelphia is another team. Like back even before they became a champion this year, Denver, they used to be pretenders because every year they was always the number 1 seed, always came up short. But it's like their players hit that gear where they took their game to another level. Like Jamal Murray took his game to another level this year. Jokic, I feel like Jamal Murray being out made Jokic a better player, which brought that team all the way together as a whole, and everybody started picking up their roles. Like picking up Michael Porter Jr. even came back from the injury and got better. Picking up Aaron Gordon was just huge for them. But also at the same time, the Cavs could make if players step up, it could be different. But they pretenders to me. Also, who could I say? I feel like the Thunder, man.
No, you crazy.
The Thunder are pretenders to me, man.
How though?
I just can't do it, man.
They're a very young team who made the play-in to the second round of the play-in game last year, and they are built for the future. So how could they be pretenders?
I just feel like there's just too much around Shea, bro. Shea could be a number 2 option, but I think Shea will never be a number 1 option and win a championship.
Whoa. Shea just came off averaging 30 points.
He averaged
per
30,
game
but a
at
number
the
1
point guard
option on a
position.
championship team, I do not see that happening.
Why don't you?
He's all flash, no substance. But go ahead.
How is he all flash?
Exactly.
No substance? You can't name 3 point guards in the NBA better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard.
Stop right there.
Hey, give me Donovan Mitchell over Shai Gilgeous.
I'm taking Donovan.
No, you're not.
I'm taking Donovan.
You're not. You take somebody who's shooting the ball 30 times a game to give you 28 points.
And I'm also
versus
taking Kyrie
Shai.
Irving. Taking Kyrie Irving too. If you say Kyrie Irving's not better than,
I just feel like Shai made his team better. And then the team with Josh Giddey, who is a playmaking shooting guard. You got Lou Dort at the 3, who is a 3-and-D. Chet Holmgren coming at the 4, or Jalen Williams. And then they can switch off at the 4 and the 5. This team is, they all got to be under 23, 24 years old. This team is built 6-7 years from now. And y'all going to see that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is top 3 point guard in the league and eventually will be the number 1 point guard in the league.
No, sir. All right. So we get off this blasphemous point.
before you keep going, do you think Shai is a better player than De'Aaron Fox?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
That's very wild.
Okay, let me ask you this. You put Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the Sacramento Kings and you put De'Aaron Fox on the Oklahoma City Thunder. What changes from the Kings? What changes?
I ain't gonna lie, he's not bringing what De'Aaron Fox is bringing to that Kings.
He can get to that cup just like Fox.
He's not that explosive.
He can shoot that rock just like Fox.
That explosive.
But he's longer.
He's not that
he's
quick.
Longer, he's bigger, he's stronger.
He's not that quick either. He's not as good of a defender as De'Aaron Fox is.
Shai can defend.
He can defend, but he's not as good as elite defender as De'Aaron is.
So if Shai goes to the Kings, they're not a 3 seed.
No, they're not. They're not a 3 seed.
What seed are they?
Maybe 4 or 5.
That ain't
Looking
too far
4 or
off.
5. 4 or
Okay,
5.
I'll take that. Now, if De'Aaron Fox goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not making the playoffs. He does not fit that scheme of things of what they got going on in Oklahoma City.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
I think De'Aaron Fox can uplift that Thunder team a little bit better than what Shai did.
Let me ask you this. Would you take, and I'm not going to put no names with these numbers.
Okay.
Would you take the player who's averaging 31.4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game while shooting 50% from the field? Or would you take the player who is averaging 25 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, and 51% from the field?
But you're thinking about it as disrespectful. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has to take more responsibility on his play because his team isn't as good as De'Aaron Fox's. So if you put De'Aaron Fox on a Thunder team, you're telling me his production wouldn't be almost the same as his?
I like that argument. His production would definitely go up.
That's what I'm
His
saying.
production definitely would go up. But imagine taking that 31 points per game, the same amount of assists, the same amount of rebounds, and they shooting the same from the field and putting it on Sacramento.
But you're thinking about it at the wrong perspective because Sacramento has more pieces to accommodate somebody of that caliber point guard position. That way, he's not scoring as much because you have players like Malik Monk that can get hot. You got Keegan Murray. You got Sabonis on the team. You got Kevin Huerter on the team. You got Harrison Barnes on the team. You got all these different players that can, Davion Mitchell, all these different players that can score the ball. So it's not, he don't have to be as ball dominant because look at the Thunder's roster. You got Josh Giddey, but Josh Giddey isn't as consistent as some of the players are on Sacramento. And who is the third leading scorer that's just at least scoring at least 15 or better?
Jalen Williams.
But is he consistent though?
He is.
Consistent as Malik Monk or somebody
He's
of that caliber?
No, I'm just saying he's consistent. It was his first year in the league. He was a good rookie. To your argument, you make valid points. De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings have better assets as of now. Like I said, OKC is built for the future. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that piece, though. He is the centerpiece around that franchise.
But if you think about it at the same time, Sacramento, their players aren't that old. They may be 24. Most of their players are 24, younger than that.
You're so right, but I'm telling you right now, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey and that crew, they get older, and let's say it's an OKC versus SAC, you know what I'm saying? Both teams grow older. OKC is better.
Look how good De'Aaron Fox is, and he's not even close to his prime right now.
Neither is Shai. Neither is Shai.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this part of the conversation.
Okay.
I'll get to my list of contenders. Number 1 to me is your Golden State Warriors. I just feel like they really a bunch of old has-beens. Steph Curry gonna whatever do what he do, but you got Chris Paul, you got Klay Thompson. I think their time for winning the championship is over. Also had the New York Knicks. I think they had a good little Cinderella run, but I think Tom Thibodeau is going to wheel those players, and I just think they're not ready to take that next step. Next, another surprise team, the Sacramento Kings. Start with Mike Brown. I think he's a very big coach from going back to his days with the Cavs. When it comes time to make a decision that they need to win, he won't make it. And I don't think De'Aaron Fox, I really do like him as a player, but I don't think as a team they're ready to take that next step. They was kind of just living life like Cinderella, just got their glass slipper. But unfortunately, it's not going to end the way they wanted to. And then have the 76ers losing James Harden. I don't think they're gonna get back what they need, and depending on Joel Embiid, he had a pretty good season, but I think after this MVP year, I don't think he's gonna be as good next year. And lastly, I have the Milwaukee Bucks with Mr. No, there is no failure, Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the charge. I don't think they're going to me, when I say a failure to them is not winning the championship, and I don't think they're even going to get close to that.
I'm gonna start off with my contenders. I kind of agree with you a little bit on your pretenders. I do. My contenders, for sure, number one, best team in the league on paper, Los Angeles Lakers. I'm gonna still put the Denver Nuggets on my contenders list, although they lost Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. However, they do have Jokic and Murray, and we see that is a lethal duo. Also on my contenders list, although they have Marcus Smart, who is no longer on the team, I do feel like the Boston Celtics are still contenders. Mm-hmm. In the West, they have one of the best rosters. The Golden State Warriors, I like what they did with Chris Paul. I want to see how it works out, especially with two strong alpha male, if you will, type of individuals, and Chris Paul and Draymond Green. I want to know how they mesh. And the Miami Heat, saying they get Damian Lillard, because they lost Max Strus, they lost to Gabe Vincent.
So it look like they have the opening to get him.
Exactly. So if you get Dame, then I'm putting Dame on the team already.
But if they don't, it's like they fall very far back.
They fall off. They're back in the play-in. My pretenders. I'm just gonna go out. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this right here, and this is not really no limb. The Phoenix Suns are pretenders.
They are.
Would you agree?
Unfortunately, no. But
the Phoenix Suns are pretenders, and let me tell you why. They just remind me of one of those flashy teams who got those names but can't get it done. They remind me of the Lob City Clippers.
And the Nets, too.
Second, and you mentioned this earlier, the Clippers. Mm-hmm. I'm not convinced by the Los Angeles Clippers. They're not healthy ever. You just re-signed Russell Westbrook. I'm not even going to say it because, yeah, we know.
You can build a lot of houses.
Build a lot of houses. And another pretender is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
They are.
Unless you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, you probably think that they're good. However, that is not the case. Donovan Mitchell is one of the most overrated players in the NBA.
Yes.
And that is something we'll get into.
Yes.
But they just don't have what it takes. I'm sorry. You got Jared Allen, who said that the lights are too bright in the playoffs. I just don't see them getting past the second round. Maybe even the first round, just like last year. And back to the Damian Lillard conversation. Damian Lillard has consistently been one of the best point guards in the NBA. Even though he's not better than Shea, he has always been one of the best point guards in the NBA. This past season, he averaged 32 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. However, the Portland Trail Blazers did not make the playoffs, and their chances of being competitive in this league are diminishing year by year. Damian Lillard's loyalty to the franchise has lessened, with him requesting a trade. His priority has been going to the Miami Heat. However, the power lies in the hands of the organization. What are some teams that you think may be the best fit for Dame outside of the Miami Heat?
Well, before y'all get into that, I just want to put my contenders on the table really quick. Start with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Mr. Adams here said that they don't play any defense. But guess who the number one defensive team in the NBA was this season? The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Is that right?
Yep, number one defensive team in the league. And I don't see, and a lot of that obviously Landy knows from playing basketball. I'll start with the coach. The coach emphasizes playing defense, that they're gonna be a good defensive team. and obviously that JB Bickerstaff, when he was he with Memphis? Or
I know he's been around.
he's been around. He's always been a strong defensive coach. But yeah, #1 defensive team in the NBA. So I don't see no reason why that's going to change. Obviously, he's helped with having Evan Mobley, and which was on the first team All NBA team, All Defensive team, as well as he finished 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. So I think they're a really good defensive team, and I think those pieces they added will help. Other contenders are Phoenix Suns, which obviously y'all disagree with. The Los Angeles Lakers, you can never go against LeBron. Boston Celtics, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see basically them trading defense for offense and how Kristaps Porzingis can work into being that 3-headed monster with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And then my last person was the Denver Nuggets. Team was the Denver Nuggets, which obviously they win the title, so you can't go against them completely. But we'll see if they have the championship fever layover, if you want to say it, and see how they respond. And then coming back to your best landing spots, to me, I see. To me, I think he would be really good if he went to the Clippers. Clippers, obviously you hear everything about the Heat recently, and then something that's kind of, I guess, outlandish is that you're hearing maybe the Spurs. I couldn't see that happening, but I don't know, maybe if Wembyama is what y'all all think he is, and you partner him up with Damian Lillard, then that could be a nice duo.
But are they winning the ring?
No.
I mean, I don't. It's you can never say for sure, but I mean, Pop is the greatest coach of all time. So if anybody can get it done, it's Pop.
I don't know. I think outside of the Miami Heat, a great trade would be the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, my trade proposition for the 76ers would be James Harden, obviously, who will most likely get a buyout. Portland will then go into full rebuild mode and focus on Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and Anthony Simons. So James Harden will probably get a buyout, then go to whoever he chooses. However, you will still get Tobias Harris in exchange for Damian Lillard and Nasir Little. I think that's a great deal. And some first-round picks, obviously, but because you know James Harden is probably not going to play for you. But if he do, then he can help Scoot Henderson grow as a player. That would be a great team if you was to have Damian Lillard, Patrick Beverly coming off the bench, Tyrese Maxey at the 2, Nasir Little at the 3, PJ Tucker, then Joel Embiid. That's a valid team, especially in the Eastern Conference where any team can win. Then another trade I got, I'm not sure if the Portland Trailblazers would do this because I guess it's kind of a rivalry team and they're in the same division, being in the same conference. But I'll say the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is a great NBA superstar, and he just need one more player to help him. Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert are not the players to help him get over that hump. With that being said, I would keep Rudy Gobert,
And get rid of Towns.
but I would trade Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Conley for some first-round picks for Damian Lillard. You put Damian Lillard with Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and then you could still go big with Naz Reid at the 4. You might be able to put Naz Reid at the 4 and Gobert at the 5 if you want that big lineup. So that's just a thing.
That is, dude, dynamic.
I feel like the Dame to Minnesota would not be too bad. How about you?
I think Dame to Milwaukee would be a good move also. Dame to Milwaukee would be nice. Him and Giannis on the same team, I just feel like that duo would just be incredible. But I have this wild take that I'm going to bring out. This is his favorite team, but I feel like you take Damian Lillard and put him on the Cavaliers, trade him for, they already put this in perspective, trade Darius Garland and Karis LeVert for Damian Lillard. I feel like he could take that team to the next level that they need to go. I just feel like he just would take that team to a whole nother level.
I'm just not convinced of this Cleveland Cavaliers thing that y'all.
But if you put Dame on that, think about Dame taking Darius and trading for Dame. How much better and significant that team would be, bro.
But if you're Portland, why would I want to bring Darius Garland, who I love as a player?
A young point guard.
You have Scoot Henderson.
Playing at the 2. Scoot was also a 2 when he was playing with Knights, too.
You have ANFERNEE Simons.
Come on.
Come on, yeah, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
averaging 20 points
Bro,
per
he's
game.
not somebody you gonna.
I would bring Anthony.
You're not building a team around him, but
I
they
think
already
he just.
have pieces.
I think it's
But if you
Anthony
think-
Simons all over the league.
If you think about it though, if you bring Darius there, put Anthony Simons off the bench behind Darius, Scoot Henderson, then you still have Shaden Sharp, who's an athletic wing. Just think about how great of a rebuild that would be of a team. Darius Garland is still only, 22, 23 years old?
Mm-hmm.
That would be an incredible rebuild team.
True. I just feel like if the 76ers can say Tyrese Maxey is untouchable, then the Portland Trailblazers will say that Anthony Simons is untouchable.
I just don't see Anthony Simons on the same level as Tyrese Maxey.
Let me ask you this. We did the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander versus De'Aaron Fox debate.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me which player you taking. Player A, 20 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game. Or are you taking player B, 21 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game?
Wait a minute.
Off numbers alone.
Before you keep going, think about the teams that they're on. Tyrese Maxey is on a winning caliber team, a team that could have made the NBA Finals this year. And you're talking about a Portland Trailblazers team that didn't even make the playoffs, and they're not even contending for anything. And Dame was hurt like 30 games already. Mm-hmm. And their stats are almost similar. And you have Joel Embiid, the MVP of this season, on that team, scoring 30 points a game. Mm-hmm. Also, James Harden scoring 20 and 10 a game. You have all those players on this team. Yet again, he's still averaging almost mirroring numbers to Anthony Simons.
Yes. I'm not saying Simons is better than Maxey. I not once said that. I'm just saying they are on the same playing field.
They're not.
Me, I'm taking player B. Well, I lied. I'm taking player A, who was Maxey, who averaged 20 points per game. Mm-hmm. Maxey shoots 47% from the 3. I'm taking Maxey. Also, to your point, he's playing with Harden, who's averaging 20, and then B, who averaging 30. So without a doubt, I'm taking Maxey. The argument is, how are they not the same caliber of player? Let's say you put Simons. Let's do another switcheroo.
Okay.
You put Simons on the 76ers and Maxey on the Trailblazers. What is the difference?
I just don't feel like.
And before you go real quick, you gotta think. To me, the reason why I'm thinking Maxey, even if their numbers are the same, because take a Kevin Love or Chris Bosh for
Yes.
If you're gonna have greater numbers with a lesser team, when you come to a good team, your numbers will go down. So if he's averaging 20 playing for the Trailblazers, that's really not playing for nothing. When you go to the 76ers, now you gotta learn how to play with them. To me, your numbers gonna naturally go down. So even if it's the same, I want the same guy that's on the winning team, because now if I bring them down to my team, their numbers should instantly go up because they sharing the ball with less people.
I like what you said there, but now I gotta counterpunch what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about if the person who's the number 3 option on the team averaging 20 points goes to a team where he's the number 2 option behind Damian Lillard, who's averaging 30, you would assume that his numbers go up, right? And a person who is coming on to that team, you assume his numbers might go down because he got to mesh with that team. But let me ask you this. Let's kind of move off basketball so I can use this analogy about football. I want to use Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, for example.
Okay.
When you have Antonio Brown on the team, I guess you could say that's your Damian Lillard. You got Anthony Simons and Juju Smith-Schuster, who was going crazy in fantasy leagues, was a Pro Bowl receiver that year. When Antonio Brown leaves, let's say Damian Lillard gets traded. When Antonio Brown leaves, now Juju Smith-Schuster is the number 1 option. Now everybody who has fantasy leagues, who is having views on the upcoming season, they're like, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a top 5 receiver in the league. And unfortunately, that's not what transpired, because now teams are game planning for you. They're no longer game planning for Antonio Brown and letting you eat. They're game planning for you. And now you show that you are not a top 10 receiver in the league. So that's the only thing about them switching and somebody getting a bigger role. Let's say Maxey was to switch and get a bigger role. Now teams are game planning for him. Will he still be as good as he is.
Just to kind of combat that, two things. One, he needs a quarterback to get him the ball. Basketball, you can bring the ball, you can rebound, whatever, get the ball, bring it up the court. Obviously, teams can double whatever game plan against you, but I can get to the free throw line and stuff like that. Well, we all know in the NBA they don't play defense, so you gonna like teams. They're not even game playing in the regular season. They just pretty much playing. Now, football, comparably, you only got so many games, so they game plan, take a lot more serious than basketball. You might be playing the back-to-back or doing a lot of this other stuff. Not saying they don't watch film, but they more focused on getting my points, because that's how I'm going to get paid. Unless you're a lesser player that can't score like a Matthew Dellavedova, or even though Aaron Craft never made it to the league. Just people like that. PJ Tucker, he do a lot of the dirty work. He not going to average 15, 18, 20 points, but he gonna do all the other little stuff that you need, i.e. like a Draymond. He's not gonna be the leading scorer in the league, but he do the little stuff that you need to have a championship team, and then kind of like how Tristan Thompson was back in the day for the Cavs, just rebounding, or Dennis Rodman or something like that. Just to segue a little bit, just to talk about something we want to happen but probably won't. Mine was Paul George to the Cavs. I think if we could somehow keep both our really good guards in Garland and Mitchell, and add Paul George, preferably he stay healthy, I think that would be a really good big three. But that was my unlikely scenario. You got anything?
Unlikely scenario. LaVine to the Lakers would be very, very good for LeBron. Yeah. I just see LaVine bringing that young core in the Lakers franchise along with AD, knowing AD stay healthy. Like, AD's only 30 years old. So I think LaVine's about 29. You bringing them two along with LeBron, man, that would just be very scary. If you're able to keep Gabe Vincent also. But I would probably put Reeves in that package. If you're trying to win, if you're going for a win now situation for LeBron.
I would definitely put Gabe in it. I don't know about the Reeves or not. I think they love Reeves like the 76ers love Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to that level, but
yeah. Me, I love LeBron. I don't love the Lakers. So I'm gonna throw that out there before I say what I want to say. Something I would like to happen that would never happen would be to see LeBron go to his fourth team, and that be the Dallas Mavericks.
You pissed me off.
What?
You reunite Kyrie and LeBron, and you add Luka. That's just me. That's just what I would like to see.
Who would they trade for him?
That's what I'm saying. It's like we really want to be a trade. It would really be like in a perfect world. Next year, LeBron a free agent, and he goes to Dallas. Like, I don't really think it's gonna happen. I just kind of like the idea of LeBron not having to be balled. He can be the third scoring option with Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah, I agree with that point. But to me, a reason why I still don't understand why Kyrie signed, because Kyrie want to be the guy, and Luka's so you got two guys. Him and Luka, to me, both want to be the guy. You got two guys that want to be the guy. It's basically back when he was, well, I guess you kind of say with the Cavs, but LeBron, everybody know LeBron was the guy. But Kyrie left because he wanted to be the guy. So it's like, if he would have went to the Lakers,
it would have been more of his situation being the guy then, because LeBron's more up in age now.
LeBron, and even when he's with the Cavs, LeBron wanted to start to hand the team over to Kyrie, but he always felt, people are always saying LeBron happy to get there, blah blah blah, whatever.
Always trying to look bro.
So, yeah, but now to our next point, most impactful free agent deals that you like or don't like.
The Porzingis to the Celtics, I really don't see how that helps them that much. I really don't. I can't really see where Kristaps Porzingis is getting as many touches as he would normally playing with another team, because you have two very ball-dominant wings, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, man. It's just their ball dominance is just very high.
Do you think that opens it up more for them or him? Because now Marcus Smart from a defensive standpoint is really good, but I would rather have to defend him than a Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously they have to mesh, but do you think offensively that could free all three of them up to be able to get better shots.
But if you was to do this, where's your rim protection now? Now on the floor, if you have Porzingis on the court, where are you going to have? You're going to bring Robert Williams also on the court at the same time?
They're going to put Kristaps at the 4, Williams at the 5. The real question is, and I want to answer what you said about, do you have 3 ball-dominant players, especially 2 in Jaylen Brown averaging over 26 a game, Tatum averaging over 30 a game, first time in, I think, Celtics history to do that. And you got Porzingis who's averaging 20-plus a game. Marcus Smart wasn't the best, I guess, point guard in the world, but he still was a facilitator who conducted the offense. That's not Derek White. Derek White is a more get-in, spark plug, score. So maybe Malcolm Brogdon can do that.
But also the leader in the team also.
Exactly. Like, he was a vocal leader, a defensive leader, which everybody know, and me and you know,
Defensive Player of the Year.
Defense win championships. We play Little League. We had to play defense.
Yeah. To me, Al Horford always will be the leader of that team. But my point is, the only way to combat all of these ball-dominant players is, which I'm not too sure of their offensive system, but to have like a kind of like a Warriors or a Spurs or how Hawks was with Budenholzer, like have a system where everybody can get their touches, but it's within motion. It's not, oh, I'm giving it to you, giving you the ball and I go one-on-one type of thing. Now that could be stagnant, but if they have some kind of motion where they got different sets and it's being designed for each player, and they scoring within the offense and not, oh, you get the ball here, it's your turn, kind of thing. I think that can work. But I mean, then it'll probably be Tatum. But I said in crunch time, I think that's kind of with the Mavericks too. It was always, who is it? You get the ball, Luka, or is it me taking the shot? Kind of thing. But yeah. And then you go ahead with who you think good additions, free agency, and bad.
My best addition, I did my list basically on players who moved, not who re-signed or got traded. I just did it on free agents who decided to leave the team they are on. First, I like Gabe Vincent on the Lakers. You lose Dennis Schroeder, but you get back Gabe Vincent, who is a point guard who has finals experience, big shot playmaking ability, and can defend. So you make up for that loss in Dennis Schroeder. And I feel like Gabe Vincent gained more confidence as the playoffs continued last year. So he should be able to roll that over. And you get D'Angelo Russell, so they can kind of bounce off each other a little bit. And second, I also like the Lakers, what they did again with Jackson Hayes. Because last year they had Mo Bamba and William Gabriel and Thomas Bryant in the beginning of the year, and they kind of really just wasn't getting the job done. With Jackson Hayes, you have an ultra-athletic big man who can stretch the floor and protect the rim, which is what the Lakers need if they ever want to go to a big lineup. You can see that kind of in the playoffs. Teams were leaving Jared Vanderbilt in that dunker position where it's like he's in no man's land. They're not worried about him shooting the ball. They're not worried about him putting the ball in the ground.
He was unplayable versus Denver.
He was unplayable. Versus now you have Jackson Hayes. You kind of got to make sure he can make that shot. You know, you got to go out there a little bit. You can put AD at the 4. And now when you play a team like Denver who matched up terribly against the Lakers.
The
Lakers matched up terribly against Denver. Now you can line that up a little bit.
Because AD at the 4 is going to make him be able to roam a lot more, where he can make a lot of different defensive plays that he couldn't make before because he's not trying to protect the rim as much.
Exactly. And then you got Jackson Hayes, who is he stopping Nikola Jokic? Absolutely not. Absolutely. But at least you have something there to get you them 2-3 pivotal stops in the game for you to win by 4-6 points. You're not trying to blow this team out, but it's just that one stop that you need AD to come over, block a shot. You can do that with Hayes because he can make that corner three.
And he's long also.
Exactly. So I like that. The ones I do not like, Fred VanVleet to the Rockets.
Dylan Brooks.
We're not even going to talk about that. But like the Rockets, you're rebuilding. You just drafted Amen Thompson. I'm thinking they're going to rebuild with Thompson at the 1, KPJ maybe 6 man, or they're going to trade him. You got Jalen Green at the 2. Like they got a nice little core that's coming up. Are they like the Kings and the Thunder? No. But they still got something nice brewing over there. They got a good coach in Ime Udoka who came from the Boston Celtics. But then you get Fred VanVleet and you offer him that bag. So now it's like, what do you do with the growth of Thompson? What do you do with KPJ? Now you're very guard heavy. You got Jalen Green, who is a 2. He's not a 3. I feel like Fred VanVleet really just went for that bag when he could have definitely helped the team that was on the verge of contending. Maybe like the Minnesota Timberwolves or a team like that. So I'm just not sure what that was all about. But maybe he's going to go out there and put up 26, 27 a game, and he's fine with that. And second, the one I don't like is Bruce Brown. I thought Bruce Brown should have stayed on that Denver Nuggets team because people don't understand how pivotal he was in them winning that ring. He was the point guard of that second unit. He was the spark plug. He was their Energizer Bunny. He was their PJ Tucker. He was their Patrick Beverly. He was getting those loose balls. He was making those timely jump shots. He just was always in the right spot at the right time. And he is a reason they won a lot of games that a lot of people don't know. It's like those unsung heroes that you have in a basketball game. You see Jokic and Murray, but you don't really see Bruce Brown. And with him going to the Indiana Pacers, he's not going to a team that's a contender. And personally, I do not believe the Pacers are going to make the playoffs again. I mean, you got Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, but I just still don't. You might make the play-in, but you're not a contender. So he definitely went for that bag.
I feel like he did it in this perspective. Okay, he's won his championship. Now he's become a free agent. He's not been a player around the league that has, okay, I've made money to where I'm like I could just sustain and I'm financially stable. I'm going to get the money after I done completed my goal and winning the championship. I'm going to get this money for future references.
Exactly.
So him leaving was not a surprise to me because I understand it from his perspective because he's not been a player that's had a good, I don't know how you say it.
Up. He came from the G League.
Yeah, he came from the G League.
He's definitely going after that bag.
He's going after the money now because he's already fulfilled the goal of winning a championship. That goal that he has on his bucket list is already going. So him getting the money is really what he's probably all about right now.
He's probably, and I do understand that he probably like, I done came from the G League. I was like a second round draft pick. Like nobody really believed in me. I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I always had to prove myself. So now I'm getting offered 20 plus M's.
Yes.
Of course I'm going to take it, which is congratulations to him because you did prove yourself and you got your money. However, from the Denver Nuggets standpoint, they needed him.